by the Bay. I'm Becca, your urban soap maker here in South Texas. And I just wanted to address going back to reformulating some of your soap recipes. I've had some really good feedback on some really old recipes I did in the very beginning. And I've been making this oatmeal and honey soap for a while, and it's got cinnamon in it and gluten-free oats. And I revamped the recipe going back to more of a recipe I used to use. I had someone who's allergic to sunflower oil, so I had taken that out of a lot of my recipes, but I really enjoy that soap, that oil, and what it provides to my soaps. And so I'm putting it back in this recipe again. And there's a little sunflower on the back. I don't know if you can see it. There it is on the label. So I'm going to be putting sunflower back in a lot of my recipes. I really missed it. And another thing I'll be adding in is some tallow, some beef tallow to my recipes. As I'm phasing out the palm oil, even though it's sustainable palm, I'm going to be phasing it out for a while and just going with the beef tallow and seeing how that goes and how people really like it or not like it. Anyway, so this is kind of a test batch and reformulating. So I normally make them in these little round shapes and things like that, but this shape has been selling really well with the little honeycomb and the little bumblebee. So I'm going to be making them in here, and our mini hearts and things like that. So there's actually a real organic cinnamon powder in here, and I'm also Super Sparkles glitter in there, and there's a little bit of the gingerbread brown mica from Crafter's Choice. So that makes up my brown. I'll be using titanium dioxide as my white, and then the natural soap color as my third color. So we're also using Aztec oatmeal and honey fragrance oil, and I also take the gluten-free oats and I powder them really fine. And so I do everything gluten-free because I have celiacs, and I have a lot of customers that have allergies and sensitivities to things. So I try to make things as natural as possible. I don't use a lot of cinnamon either because that can be irritating on some people's skin, but the amount I use has been really good feedback from people. So let me get my oils here. Also, because it has a little beehive honeycomb, I add organic beeswax as well to this to make it a nice hard bar and label appeal. So we're going to be putting in our oats. Now I powder it nice and fine so that you don't have any like chunky bits, because I've tried some soaps and they have chunks, and I don't like chunky oatmeal. It feels weird on my skin. So we've got that. We've got our kaolin clay. Now this just gives it a nice slip, and it helps hold the scent. Got our goat milk and buttermilk. Lots of good stuff going into this. We've needed our freezer space for other things, so I'm not using the goat milk that we were freezing as ice cubes. So I need to put fragrance in this. And I'm using 5.5%, so it ends up being just about 2 ounces, 1.98. So I'll probably end up putting 2 ounces. Go. This one smells really good. I like this one. So all of that's in there, and I did squeeze in some of our raw Texas honey. I put 2 teaspoons of that, and I'm going to wipe my glasses so I can see. And get my gloves on. And I also, let's see, I added sea salt water at a ratio of 3 to 1. So whatever I had mixed up ahead of time in a bottle with some hot water, some distilled water, and mix that all up in my ratio. And I do like 2 capfuls for like, this is a little over 2 pounds. That helps make it a harder burr too. Don't want any lumps, so I'm gonna pre-blend. So there's that. And I'm gonna pour off a little bit into my brown. And then one is going to be white. Something here like that. Here's my titanium dioxide. A good tablespoon of that. So this, you can smell the cinnamon, and it really enhances. Even though this is oatmeal and honey, like with the cinnamon, it just it smells like a bakery or something. It smells really good. This is really fun because when you mix this one up, it gets all sparkly and stuff. That's always fun. Let's see, and then my recipe has the organic coconut oil. I've got the rice bran oil, our organic sunflower oil. We've got our tallow, and we've got castor oil. So that's it. It's super simple. It's mostly rice bran. You could substitute olive oil. I know I've tried to make Bastille recipes where it's just 3 oils, but I really like the extra bubbles that you get from the castor. The cleansing's really low on this. It's down to 20. The hardness is 39. Conditioning is 56. Bubble is 28. Creamy is 26. And then it will vary with the different salts, beeswaxes, and sugar. So there's 2 big tables, like two big heaping, probably close to almost 2 tablespoons of organic cane sugar to help make this really bubbly. So I'm gonna pour that in. I haven't made this soap in a while now, so there's a bunch of things I'm trying to get back at. Super duper hot outside. They said there was a heat stroke warning today. So it's hot in Texas. I didn't even look at the heat. It's hot. Thinking we're going to put our pool up soon. It's just a little one. And help beat the heat. Cinnamon. It's going to be my white. Probably more half and half, like natural and white. And I'm gonna, just so, because it's goat milk, I'm gonna make sure that my natural, one stays creamy looking and doesn't turn brown from the goat milk. So I just usually put a little bit of titanium into that one. I can't believe I got it all over the place here, but I did. Here's the white. We have to make it really white. So I see a color difference. All right, so you never know until you start blending. Hope everybody is having a beautiful summer. I'm trying to get some things cleaned up around the garden and barbecue today out on the pit. So we're waiting for that to finish. I love cooking on the pit. Usually been a little too hot to do it, but we're doing it anyway. Sometimes you just gotta. So, here are the colors. There's the natural color, the white color, and our cinnamon sparkle. And I'm going to swirl in my white. I think there's a girl that she's called Abominable. I have to look it up again on Instagram, but she messaged me and she has become like a super fan of stuff, and so I sent her a little care package and she's going to be posting some stuff about it, so she's super excited. That went out in some Happy Mail today, so check her out on Instagram. Abominable? I think that's what it is. This reminds me of like cinnamon buns. It smells like it. It smells awesome. We don't eat cinnamon buns, but it's kind of cool to wash up with them. There was what was it? I'm trying to think of it was the honeydew. We had a little shop back in North Attleboro called the Honeydew, and they used to make these phyllo dough cinnamon twist sticks, and they were awesome. I kid you not, I would just go there several times a week to get some for me and the kids, and they just tasted awesome. So there's our swirl. I do miss eating them. I remember them being really awesome with a good cup of coffee. Awesome. All right, so I'm going to start pouring this in. These are going for more like just kind of a swirl, I guess. Kind of does its own swirl when you pour it, so nothing specific. Just creamy, yummy goat milk soap. There's also some buttermilk in here as well. Another one. Turn this one sideways. So let's see if I have any extra left, but I'm definitely going to be doing some minis. Let's see how many we get going here. This is a great recipe for kids, people with sensitive skin, dry skin. This is just a really super gentle recipe. I make another recipe like this without the fragrance oil, but some people really prefer that scent in there. So this is paraben free and phthalate free. When you smell it, you'll swear you were in a bakery. Probably could have done a steeper water discount, but I haven't made it in a while, so I wasn't sure. Not much for talking today. Just one of those days. Trying to get back to our zenness. I'm going to wait to scrape these. And the this mold doesn't always want to set up exactly the way I want it to. This side up a little bit. There's my phone. Somebody's bedonking me. I'm just gonna have to wait. Already dug up some banana trees in the heat earlier. It was super duper hot out. I just sweated my booty off. Super hot. Too hot to be digging. I'm really excited to try these. I was so resistant to putting any kind of lard or tallow in my soaps because when I first was raw vegan, I was like, I'm gonna make vegan soap and it's gonna be amazing. And I live in Texas, and vegans here don't support vegans that make soap, apparently, because um, I couldn't be vegan anymore. So they really were very, very non-support. They actually weren't very supportive when I was vegan, which blew my mind. So, like, here I am doing the whole vegan thing, 3 years, and I'm making everything I make was vegan, and they just still didn't give me any kind of support or love. And I was like, really? So I was like, okay, my health is suffering because of it, and now I'm gonna go back to putting animal products in my food, in my food, yes. And then I got all kinds of hate for it, and there's just no need for all that. So they actually make beautiful products, and that's what they used to use back in the day. So all the products were made from animal fats and beeswax, and that's about as natural as you're gonna get. That's what that's how everything was made. So kind of blows my mind about some stuff. But since going back to putting animal products and animal fats in my products, people have been way supportive, and I was so thankful of that, because here this is something that I truly love to do. And I thought, oh my gosh, I wasted all this time and money on products and no one wants to buy them. I live in the wrong state. And I was very, very happy. And we did meet a vegan. We have some vegan friends, and they're still trying to do it. And God bless them. I hope it works out for them. But I don't know that it is sustainable long term. But they were. Someone came by and they bought the rest of my vegan soaps off of me, and I was like super thankful. Otherwise, we were going to use them. And they were very happy to purchase them, even though I eat meat now, and I was really surprised. I was like, but everybody else hated me because I went back to eating meat and putting animal fats in my products. They're like, well, we don't hate you for that. I mean, you tried and da da, and I'm like, yeah, I did. I tried really hard. So much so, my doctors are like, you're dying. You're dying from this stuff. You just need to eat fish and eggs and go back to eating meat, and you'll be okay. And I'm like, oh, I'm so scared. Still here, and I do good most days on the animal products, and I need a higher fat content. I have the avocados, and that really seems to help me with my brain and functioning and remembering things. Or if my seizures get real bad, I try to have more salmon and avocado, and that seems to really, really help my seizures. Actually working on fixing some of my labels, because I didn't like how my labels originally came out for some of my products, and I'm now able to figure out how to make the labels the way I thought of them in my mind, and now they look really pretty. So I was taking off all the old labels of some of things that I had made, and I was feeling so much better that the labels look good. So I think that made a big difference recently with some stuff. So that was it. Here's my cinnamon swirl animal fat soaps, and they look awesome. They smell good, and I'm going to put them in my oven to sleep overnight. So I usually just take like a silicone mat and I slide it underneath. and then I lift it up, and then it goes in my oven with the light on, and 24 hours later, I'll put them in our big deep freezer, and I'll probably let these ones sit up a little bit more. Put them in our big deep freezer so that they'll get nice and hard. I'll stamp the back of them, and then I'll unmold them and put them on our drying racks. So I think, yeah, I got these molds on AliExpress, and I'll try to find the link for it again and put it down below if anyone's interested in the molds, because they cost way too much money on Amazon. I could be wrong. These probably were over $10 each or more on Amazon, which is crazy. And I think I got them for maybe $5 to $6 each. So that was a really good deal. So I will see y'all guys in the next video. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Go check out what's on Etsy. We're going to have some new stuff coming to the shop coming soon. We've got some new projects we're working on. And when I have time and energy, I will be showing you how I make the silicone molds and how that came out. And we're still waiting for our epoxy resin to come in. And we're going to be doing some epoxy art resin with some acrylics and sea glass and beachy stuff, and making some coasters and some really cool things. So we don't just make soap here. We do garden. I haven't had time to show you guys everything that we do here because sometimes it's just too tiring to be live and doing videos and things like that. And we're just actually busy doing some stuff here and working and getting things done. So any chance I have to just kind of make a little video and show you guys what we're up to, that's what I try to do. You can always check me out on Instagram, Pinterest. I think I'm on Tumblr and Facebook at Becca's by the Bay. And I'm probably I'm usually posting on Instagram and Facebook the most. And then I try to post on some of the other stuff, but I'm not a big Twitter person. And I try to do Pinterest from Etsy. So I'm not sure how that all works. I'm not very technologically good with all that stuff, but we are connected, and I do have some accounts, and I have some stuff up on there. So if y'all ever want to check it out, you can. And thanks for hanging out with us again, and we'll see you next time.